1. Boost ignition and liftoff, and all systems are go.
Welcome to the Lesbo and the Bean universe. Lesbo and the Bean. LATB, Lat B, where mixed martial arts and the UFC get silly. Big silly. Buckle up and move your tray tables to their upright position. And please, somebody shut that baby up. It's time for Lesbo and the Bean.
Welcome back, episode 195. What a sober weekend we've had here without the UFC. After that long stint that we had, we ended up having to fall back on a little bit of that BKB, bare knuckle fighting systems. I feel like that's been essentially the talk of the town all weekend long. I mean, the GOAT took it over again with Jason Knight. I had fun. I watched a lot of those BKB fights directly afterwards, maybe a little bit on that Facebook, some of them streaming services, but the real interesting thing that came
about... How much do they cost?
I don't know. I ended up finding them online, though, for sure. The interesting thing with the BKB, I guess when we get just right on into it, did you see that after one of the fights, the promoter came out and said, just so you guys know, the winner of that fight is losing 20% of his purse and giving it to his opponent because he backed away the entire time and did not want to engage. How is that legal? You didn't hear about this.
Well, I don't know the rules of BKB.
Neither do I, but I don't know if I would even fight if there was that clause in there. I'd be like, no. It's win or lose. None of this bullshit. I have to move forward and all this. Like, a rule's a rule. Give me stalling or not engaging. Did this kind of point, but don't take my money. Like, winner, you don't take my motherfucking money.
Agree. But I don't know what any of the bare knuckle rules are. I just saw their faces afterward, and looks brutal.
A lot of cuts, huh?
Yeah, it's
a lot of blood.
A lot more swelling, a lot of more face shots than you'd normally think.
Couple broken hands happen on every single bout. We saw one over the weekend as well. I can't remember the fighters' names, but I mean, look it up. He's in there shaking his hand and gets eventually standing TKO'd, but it was violence accentuated. But what does it make me think about the MMA gloves, these 4-ouncers? What do they really do? What do these wraps really do for the fighters? Is it a takeaway or does it benefit them?
I don't know, because Artem and Jason Knight are those guys that bite down and swing away. That is their fighting style, even
but
in the
they've
UFC.
never looked like that after a UFC bout. Never. Either of them.
Maybe neither of them really has that knockout power, and so both of them could just stand there and swing away like that and take that kind of surface damage.
In the first round, Artem Lobov landed a retreating left hand on Jason Knight, which buckled him, dropped him to the ground. They called it a slip. It wasn't a slip. Jason Knight lost a tooth. Have you seen that footage?
I have seen
Spitting it
people
out.
talking about Jason Knight's teeth.
In the last 50 seconds of the first round, they ended up going all 5. Jason Knight losing it. Artem Lobov being a class act and actually putting the winning medal over Jason Knight. Just both of these guys, especially with all of the garbage that went on prior to this fight with Paulie and all that, it was really nice to see, again, the pro sportsmanship of these two high competitors be like, all right, we're done. We both gave it all. That's a war to watch. I don't care what type of a sport it is, combative sport. Those guys left everything in that ring, and that's something to watch. Something to behold. Neither of them pulled back. It was fun.
Maybe I'll have to look at it then.
I really recommend that fight. The other ones, not so much. Other ones, there was at times where you're like, oh, okay, these guys are really outmatched in a fight. But no, Jason Knight, Artem Lobov, I liked it. I like BKB. I think it should stick around. I had fun, especially where we always say Bellator, take up one of these weekends when you can fill in when UFC's not around and not watching. And guess what you don't do, dummies? You let BKB shine all over your face.
So you'll be looking for some BKB fights in the future.
Some gifts.
Fair enough.
So, other BKB talk we want to get into, or just as it keeps spattering?
Is there other BKB talk?
No, other than that, going down, the only other BKB fighter I saw, well, not officially.
And one more time for the other people like me that I have to keep reminding myself, that's bare knuckle boxing.
Bare knuckle boxing.
Did we say it already once?
We might have thrown it in there once or twice, but it's in the competitive sports world edge.
It's slow to enter my brain because it's not Ultimate Fighting Championship.
100%. One of these other fringe topics that is slightly in combative sports, but anytime there's an ass whooping, you know we like to talk about it. And unfortunately for the Hall of Famer, Bret Hart, he was tackled at one of the wrestling events over the weekend by a crazy loon fan, ended up jumping in there. Travis Brown being the first person to get to him, throwing some of those dirty ass punches. Did you see this young man's face? The footage or his mugshot?
I've been saying it since Travis Brown, since Ronda first went over to WWE. I think that Travis Brown's nickname should be the Overtaker.
That's a great one. That's a great one.
He's just a looming presence. He's a huge dude. How is he not? The WWE is known to have their stars marry and all that crisscrossing of 100%. Real life to drama. So I think Travis Brown, the WWE's missing out.
He knows how to take a head scissor.
He gave it some real ground and pound. And I really thought the whole time, like, am I being put on?
It was unreal.
Is this how they get Travis Brown into the WWE? Did they get me? Am I a mark right now? Am I a mark?
The way that fan got the living crap kicked out of him, it wasn't only Brown. There was a bunch of other guys throwing knees and punches. Did you see when they finally got him out of the ring? I don't know, he's a wrestler, but he was wearing some flannel or fancy jacket, uppercuts this dude right to the ground. He falls and they keep dragging him, and fans are trying to get to him. Is this the equivalent of Fan Man? Remember that Tyson Holyfield man?
You're telling me something real happened inside the wrestling?
No, this is real.
No, I watched it, but
you think it's
look
fake.
Look at how sure you are that it's real. Like, you were mad at Ronda, like a lot of other people, for tearing down the fourth wall, even though that's scripted too.
Sure. I don't know. I think they beat the living daylights out of this guy.
Is it time for Travis to work?
I mean, he got arrested afterwards, like legitimate mugshot. You don't think that? You think that's all fabricated?
I don't know if it is or not.
You telling me this is Andy Kaufman?
I didn't see the mugshot. Yeah, is it all Andy Kaufman? That's what I'm asking you. It's like, oh, well, here's a couple of real things that happened inside the wrestling. You know, not that it hasn't happened. Horrible shit's gone down.
Here's the young man's mugshot.
Damn.
He was right alongside these other two BKB fighters. I mean, they whooped his nose splattered across his face, eyes swollen shut.
That looks different than the guy I felt like I saw in the actual video. But whatever.
The guy in the video was wearing like a Rastafarian hat.
He just looked different. I felt like he looked different.
So
maybe
I'm not going to be running inside any.
Focus on Travis the whole entire time. I had to watch it a few times to.
You know those Islanders? They get you. Focusing on them, no. That's all I keep thinking. The Overtaker, like an Islander presence. He's got a big staff, like the Moana guy.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. I was seeing the character. I was taking it all in. I was like, because like Hawaiian dude, does he have like that, like tsunami? Like, does he wear like the skirt, the sarong?
Yes, of course, Does he wear that Mowgli diaper underneath?
No, I think he has normal, just like Hulk Hogan shorts.
Oh, okay.
Like those little underwear things on, and then the boots that come up to the side.
The side or the side of the calf?
Like come up to the side of the calf. Yeah,
okay.
Like just the Hulk Hogan look.
Ooh,
like just the old school, maybe some decorations on it.
I think it should be a little more tribal and like, no, maybe even almost barefoot. Like he's Islander, like he's like straight out for the beach bra.
Could be. And he might be more comfortable doing it barefoot because of UFC. Like it playing in his own character.
True. You're welcome.
Whatever. It's not a fight breakdown. We thought about it today. We thought about doing the prelims, but we wanted to give you an educated
100%, and the tape was not done officially on those prelims.
I should say he wanted to give you an educated answer. I was like, well, I can do it today. So you're lucky that we're looking out.
Just trying to make money. Just trying to make some money.
So, exciting fight news. I think it's interesting. Luque versus Magny.
Interesting. I did not see this bout. When is it scheduled for?
UFC Rochester. I have no idea when that's going to be.
Neither do I, but I feel like there's been a couple other bouts thrown on that Rochester card so far, and it looks like it's doing pretty well.
Who's your quick on that?
Oh, Magny gets you with that gas tank. That's what we said about Luque. If you can push him in the hard in that third, it's tough. But Barberina just did that to Luque as well. I'm going to say Luque submission because that's Magny's biggest default, and he can get put on his back. But that gas tank always has to worry you against the toughness of the, 38-year-old Neil Magny now?
Yeah, you're right. What about Jack Hermanson replacing Yoel Romero?
That's officially what happened. We were speculating it was going to be Borrachina. Unfortunately.
I was hoping it would be Borrachina versus Hermanson.
That's also a dope-ass fight.
I think it's a better fight.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Borrachina without just ripping him out of there with any, one of these old men.
The Joker came off of a quick 40-second submission over Branch. Didn't take a punch in that fight. He's ready to go. Ready to just get on over. I mean, this is stylistically a really interesting fight with the jiu-jitsu we've seen of Joker. Again, Jacare, all sorts of abuse, but Jacare's really stayed standing a lot longer than before him. We initially thought Hermanson was going to be a striker. He's really shown to be well-rounded everywhere. He's got a Joker for every situation.
I think this is dangerous for Sousa as
Me
well.
too.
I think
100%.
It sets up for the winner of this is pretty much in there for automatic title contention after, it has to be after the fight coming up with Gastelum versus Adesanya, right?
Correct.
So,
which is this next weekend coming up,
pay-per-view. Pay-per-view. This is such a big, it's really not that big of a card. I guess it's top heavy. It's a top heavy card.
There's some fun undercards on it. There really is.
Yeah, I looked at the main, and the last two fights of the night are exciting, but I don't remember.
OSP's on there. He's making... you know I love OSP.
Yeah. You know how I feel. I'm like, meh. I was going to say the Travis Brown thing, too. That's the big UFC news this week.
Travis Brown's in the WWE.
Do you see how, it loses a little oomph? Our voices have, just a drag about them without proper fights.
Surprised we didn't see Connor talking too much in there with having his number one cohort over the weekend. Was there any congratulations or any Twitter talk, or is he just kind of went dark?
Nothing since Towelgate 2. I mean, nothing since then. So, yeah, no Connor news. Internet's been dry as hell. Justin Gaethje's mad at Paul Felder.
Is it Justin Gaethje or is it somebody, or is it other fans?
Justin Gaethje, because he felt it was very unprofessional that after he won his fight for Paul Felder to try to be goating him, which no one got mad when people were goating Tony Ferguson.
100%. I totally agree with that.
This is a regular thing that happens, where fighters get off and goat each other after, oh, take it.
Was it Lee? Was it Tony Ferguson and Kevin Lee? Because they were talking.
Maybe.
And he's like,
how he talked himself into it.
Exactly. But there has been people saying that the back mic, they ask some of these guys at times to do it. And how do you feel about it?
All for the soundbite later on.
And even if you get a Jerry Springer fist in there, or Jorge Masvidal, I don't want to say it. Whatever, you serve them up. But that's gold. That gets more views than anything. So, I mean, I think subtly they tell them in your ear, and they are like, oh, we didn't mean for that to happen. But if it does, I mean, they're going to show a dolly going through a window for the rest of ever. They're going to throw.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
Oopsie, did we do that kind of shit?
100%.
And this is a new replacement, right? Overeem versus Olenek. Didn't somehow that get switched around, or is that the fight it's always been?
Versus Olenek.
Yeah, coming up on April 20th in Russia.
There might have been some switching there. I'm not 100% on it. And Olenek, is he the submission ace? Is he
He's the guy that does that
Ezekiel
one type
choke?
of... Yes, that one
non-stop against the ream. I mean, off the top of your head, you got to go with the ream, right?
I don't know. I never
Olenek and Olenek is that type of underdog who will be a -600 and pull scar or fall right to his back with that Ezekiel choke and get it time and time again. But we have the Pancrase champ in Uberine.
And so that it's like we have a pay-per-view coming up with Poirier Holloway,
Ooh.
and which is going to be
Adesanya
hard to
Gastelum.
say like 5 times fast. And then after that we have Overeem Olenek, like right after that, and then right after that, UFC Fort Lauderdale.
We in Fort Lauderdale. We still have a couple bouts to be put on there. If you haven't heard the RLIB, we're super hyped for that. If you end up seeing us around, take a photo. We're
say
friendly.
hi. Say oh, I love it.
Or not. Let it be like,
Or be like, man, whatever. I hate how you hate Habib.
Either way, we'll share a beer. And
Yeah.
be on our way.
And if you don't, you could follow us at Zoltanite, at Weakneck Baby, at Lesbo and the Bean on Twitter and Instagram. And you could say, hey, I'm here too. That's my Kevin Hart impression. Like, oh, I'm here too. His drunk girl talk. He does it all it's like his shtick through all his stand-ups.
100%.
Hey, I'm here too.
And yelling. If you just want to hear a little black man yell, listen to Kevin Hart.
His new stand-up.
That's all he does is yell. That's it. It's pretty fun. But I'm liking Kevin Hart. Actually, Kevin Hart being on the Joe Rogan Experience, that breaks in a little bit of MMA news.
It walks in, back in.
It was a fun show. I ended up catching most of it, but I felt like, as Lesbo was saying as well off camera, that it was a little Tony Robbins-y. It was a little, you got to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and always be happy and never let that negative shit in. And, I mean, Joe Rogan got out Joe Rogan on his own show by Kevin Hart.
He kind of did. He's like, I got the supplements. You don't want to be on it. You want to be in it. You want to be in it with Kevin Hart.
And Joe's like, I mean on it too, on it. And didn't Joe Rogan just pull out a Neuroforce documentary that's been going around online? It's he just released a documentary on mushrooms. Specifically on mushrooms that are grown in goat shit off of the goats that live up at high altitude that are jumping extra high when they eat these mushrooms. And he did an hour and a half.
Brain. I got alpha brain, Joe. Oh wait, that's my Alex Jones.
I got alpha brain.
I got alpha brain.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I guess the main card, I was just looking over Holloway Poirier too.
It's pretty fun.
Oven St. Preux versus Krylov. That's a good fight for him.
That's what we were saying.
Dwight Grant, Alan Jouban, not a bad fight.
Not at all.
We
Dwight Grant giving us some love.
Yeah, we like Dwight Grant.
We are big
Eric
fans.
Anders versus Khalil Roundtree. The thing I like about Anders, he's really wanted to prove himself. He's like, give me my next fight, give me my next fight, give me my next fight. And he's not shying away from too many things. I like that fight for him.
Totally agree.
Adesanya Gastelum. That fight could go any way you cut it.
100%.
I don't think anyone would hold back in a UFC fight, but I don't think we saw everything out of Adesanya. Like, was it too much respect for Silva? I'm more curious about Gastelum style versus his, so that's fun.
Totally agree.
And then Blessed is back, 10 pounds heavier. What's this gonna?
Hey, that's must watch UFC.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That one is gonna be amazing.
Oh my gosh, you guys! What else are we gonna squeeze out of this?
We're gonna wring this mop dry if we need to do.
You said WrestleMania. Is that tonight?
I believe that's tonight officially. I'm not going to watch it. I'm again going to wait for the gifts because I've pretty much maxed myself out as far as that. I got some tape study to look at, so I'm going to actually sit down, get some popcorn, get this weekend ready and hype. You know, an Aries up in here. The Beans got a little bit of celebrating to do this coming up week. It's going to be a fun one, a pay-per-view way to capping off the weekend. For sure.
You guys can, for the Beans birthday week, you guys should tell 2 friends to check out Lesbo and the
a little
Bean.
present?
Like and subscribe. Yeah, that would be cool if we had our biggest number ever for your birthday. That would be cool,
unbelievable. Would be much appreciated. Whatever is out there, even a like, subscribe, 5 stars.
We're not too proud to beg.
Not at all. Even on our birthday weeks.
We ain't too proud to beg. Hey.
Keep it short and sweet if we need to. We don't want to be here.
It's kind of, I just feel bad, really.
I
I'm
agree.
Like, how did we squeeze through all that stuff
so quickly?
that quick? And we're all like, meh, low energy.
But I feel like we're a good representation of a lot of the MMA community, and as much as I've been hyped for all this BKB stuff, I've seen a lot of other people being like, "Oh, it's been nice to take a little bit of step back from all of it, boost up the energy, the batteries, get them recharged because we gonna be hyped for this pay-per-view coming up this weekend. We needed it. It was a little draining. We don't have an off season here in MMA. We ain't got no off season. There ain't no 6 months off for your little football plays and all that. We get 1 minute in between
would be
fights.
taking maybe a spring break right now or something.
100%. It's the way it goes.
Other shows might not. You know how I was today years old when I found out. This week, I was today years old. You know SpongeBob SquarePants?
100%. Love
and his friend, he's a sponge.
Yes.
And with
Pat Star.
SquarePants. I just realized he was a starfish.
No way.
I never got down with that show. I just always thought that thing's weird. It looks like a big tongue. I always thought it was a weird thing. I had no idea.
Oh my gosh! There's a squirrel that lives underwater.
Starfish.
There's a crab that runs the chum bucket.
That would be my weird. I was today years old.
Oh, that's great. Or Plankton that runs a chum bucket. Krusty Krab ran by Mr. Krabs. Oh, I'm a SpongeBob aficionado. I was in there freaking being a goofy goober whenever I needed to be.
That was your jam. That's
those
what
are
you got
deep.
Down on.
Those are deep. People are 2005 in that shit right there.
So I didn't see any of the fight. Do you feel like Artem really won the fight?
I don't think either fighter lost. I'm not mad either way, honestly.
Did Artem officially win it?
Yeah.
Do you think he officially win it because they're trying to set up Paulie Artem?
No, I think he officially out of the
you
knockdowns.
Really think he won? That's what I wanted to
thought
know.
I saw Jason Knight be knocked down, lose a tooth, and as far as damage wise, both of them equally suffered. I feel like the same amount of, well, I guess not the same if I'm saying Jason Knight lost a tooth and was knocked down. So I'd say Artem squeaked it out a little bit more. I don't know the striking percentages on the exact bout. That's where it might be iffy, and Jason might have landed 5 more shots. But I thought out of the exchanges and all the gifts I saw on the exits, Artem was getting the best punch out of both of them. Every time he was getting the last final or the better punch over out the night. So that's why I think Artem did win it. In a close one, though. It was close.
You want to see him versus Paulie?
100%, but it's going to be a little while. Like, they were in a brutal war.
Yeah,
that's one of those things.
They look like it. They are nuts. I wonder what they look like today. They
100%.
look like catcher's mitts today.
This is one of those things, though, where do we see, without the hand wraps and the gloves, do they potentially heal faster because it's cuts and maybe the concussion that aren't there as much? Because even though you're throwing hard, they gotta be pulling some of those punches.
And the way human hands are built with the many bones that they have in them,
right.
It's cushioning.
Right, like
it's exactly like you're saying. You're not taping something off. And
it's not a cast.
Brick. Yeah,
it's not a cast. You're all of a sudden throwing it at someone.
Really could be. It could be less traumatic brain injury for sure. Even though the outward.
Superficial damage. Superficial.
Yeah. Oh. Did you hear that dog that Frank Shamrock abandoned at the airport found a new home?
I'm surprised because I thought that dog died.
I think it's unacceptable.
100% what he did.
It's garbage.
He supposedly didn't have anybody. If you haven't heard, Frank Shamrock had a dog that he was watching for his ailing
talked about it on the show.
mother. I think we did a little bit because he cried on TMZ saying he didn't know that the dog wasn't going to get taken care of, but he left it in the back of his car with a note and in the sun and water and a little bit of food, hoping some good soul would come over. They could have let it die, and that would have been animal abuse.
That's that. It was 100%. Animal abuse anyway. It's just
it's neglect.
It's like feather to the wind. I hope this lands in a dry place.
Yeah. I'm going to tie this here where it can't get away and fend for itself and just die of overheating. I don't know how cold it was.
Sousa Hermanson is official. It's just a verbal agreement still. Anything
They've been doing a lot of this verbal agreement stuff lately.
They better get this fight card together. I'm going to be real
honest with you. Come on, UFC.
I'm going to be real honest with you.
So,
That's a garbage move.
I agree.
Garbage move on the dog part.
Totally agree. So, I think it's unforgivable.
Let's see. I know I'm starting to feel like, Tony Ferguson calls out bitch Conor McGregor and coward Khabib. Tony, why are we worried about those two fights? Like, everyone, why are we worried about
you
those
know
two
that
fights?
those two guys aren't coming in here to fight anytime soon. Move on. Talk about anybody else.
I mean, you got November, I guess. Khabib might fight in November, which it's funny how everyone gets stripped and Khabib
Is
whatever.
absolute.
He must be a good investment. That Russian audience must be.
I've always said they were big.
Huge.
I've always said they were
Huge.
big. You thought they were bots. I've always been like, from what I hear, that guy's a legend out there.
No, I think the win made him a legend. Because I
now.
watched tons of stuff beforehand, and he could walk right through the streets, and no one even said his name. Like, I watched tons of videos.
Now he needs to wear a
beforehand.
towel over his head and
Now
walk.
he- Oh, boom! Roasted. Whew!
I'm sure I stepped on somebody's toes.
That was deep in so many levels. That was fucking Bermuda Triangle shit.
I'm sure I stepped on some toes. It's lighthearted. I don't really mean that. Habib would kill me. Iron Eagle talent in the face.
Did you hear Jose Aldo's eager to pursue a boxing career after he's done?
Hate it. But the GOAT, Lobov, I'm like, love it. Why? Because he was so much lower caliber? And I'm like, Aldo, no. Like, just, you have a legit-ass legacy in MMA. Just be a trainer. Just be a coach.
Yeah, just be at Nuva Niao and everyone be like,
100%.
make the team
Or
better
even
as
make
a
your
whole.
own. Make your own team. It's going to suck, but you'll get through it.
Coach Wink says the UFC would have to throw a lot of money at John Jones for a purposed heavyweight bout with Stipe Miocic per Bloody Elbow.
Interesting. I mean, I'm not surprised. Throw enough money at John Jones, he's going to end up taking that fight.
Michael Chiesa, Diego Sanchez. Does the same thing go down again?
Wow. At 170, though? It is at 170.
Oh, yeah, it will
Yep.
be up. That'll be all the difference in the world.
Chiesa.
Diego can't fight that big.
Yeah, I
He fights
agree.
better down at
And it's
155.
actually a caliber opponent. But again, I picked Mickey Gall, and we saw how that went.
And it could be the exact same game plan.
Oh,
For
100%.
Diego.
But Chiesa legitimately is way better on the ground. Proven.
Yeah, he is a lot better than
But
Mickey
his
Gall.
striking
I
is
think Mickey
garbage, where
Gall is
Diego's
not
better.
necessarily UFC caliber.
Right.
Volkanovski. What do you feel about Volkanovski, Frankie Edgar?
Are they just potentially talking, or is that
shit?
official?
No, it's not official at all. Just
I
throwing
like
out
it
there.
for Volkanovski. I'm gonna like a lot. Any of these fights I like that they're talking only about the top echelon and about top 5 guys. Only Aldo, Edgar. I feel like he's got nothing to lose. Yes, take it if you can. I mean, take any fight. Your buddy. You know the story about his buddy already rearranging his wedding for this.
No.
So his best friend, his best mate, was gonna get married officially, and the Jose Aldo fight came about, and he said, I can't take the Jose Aldo bout because my buddy, I'm the best
That's
man.
what happened to it.
No. Volkanovski ended up telling his buddy and the fiance, him and his buddy and his soon-to-be wife, they said, what? Jose Aldo? Dude, we'll postpone the wedding. Go fight Jose Aldo. And Volkanovski was like, all right, I'm in. Everybody's praising the couple for being super badass, but now Aldo fell out. So now they're like, okay, well, we're just going to stay on our other. Volkanovski can still get a bout in there if he wants to because he's scheduled that time. So, really nice friend. That's a good girl. That's Marion quality right there.
I'm hungry to
It's a
see
Marion type.
Alexander in the octagon again, and I do
Totally.
think he deserves one of those top echelon guys.
Edgar's that type of caliber.
Do you think he's way, way, way over like Zabit? Not skill level wise, but don't you think Volkanovski's Zabit would be a great fight?
That's an unbelievable fight, but the Zabit doesn't have as much clout as an Edgar or Aldo, where you can beat a Zabit and it'll always be like, oh, he was, unless he becomes a champ, it won't look as good. We're right now established, we know how good Frankie Edgar is. We know how good Aldo is. We still are iffy about Zabit. We still are.
Yeah, you can tuck. I'm not. I think he's awesome. And I actually think Frankie Edgar shouldn't be fighting anymore as much as I love him. I think Volkanovski's a very dangerous fight for Frankie Edgar, and going out like that is, I don't think he wants to
Yeah, I
have
don't think
happen
you're wrong.
2 times in a row. Volkanovski, Ortega.
That's an amazing fight. Let's do that. Ortega's, I don't know where he's been lately.
Ortega's in trouble in that fight.
He is in trouble.
That's interesting. He is the submissioner's chance. See, you know what? we were a little hard on ourselves. We thought we were like, oh, I guess we'll just put out a 17-minute show. No, we won't. We won't put out a 17-minute show. We will always, I think, at least show some professional level to this if we at least hit a half hour. Do you think that's fair?
I think that's more than fair. It is free. Just throwing it out there. It's free.
And we are also, Wednesday will be coming around, and you're going to at least probably need an hour and a half. Like, we'll probably have a long show.
It's going to be a super long one because we're going to go through the whole pay-per-view. DraftKings lines are going to be out by there. There's going to be money bits to be made. Be sure you're washing your ass.
Bits.
You
better wash your ass so you don't have bits in there.
Exactly.
And
use that.
You better clean out your wallet so you can make room for the bits that we're going to give you. I guess we love you. Thanks for listening once again. Thanks for creeping through the swamp of Slow UFC Week with Lesbo and the Bean. Well, you know what we didn't talk about?
What was that?
Maybe changing her name.
Oh, we did not talk about this. I thought you were going to talk about Lather & Co. and how you need to keep your bits clean with some good-ass soap.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Latherandcompany.com. Make sure you're using LATB15 as the code. And we need to make that commercial longer, but we don't have to do it today.
100%. We're working. We're progress.
We're going to change that, or do you think we should just leave it till next time, or one day they're going to turn on their podcast and see that our name is changed?
I mean, the fans that are subscribed and listening, they're going to know that it's coming. So we are going to have some updates. If you haven't seen, everything's getting a little updated, but a little rebranding might be good for the old 200. For the good old 200.
The good old 200 episode, because our name is not politically correct for some.
Some people don't like to go as hard in the paint.
And not our actual advertisers that we have now. They're awesome. But potential advertisers to come might not want to associate with Lesbo.
Or the Bean. They might like to find that offensive, but I've been called worse in my life.
Yeah, so I don't know. But everyone, we're still in discussions of it. If you have some clever name, you can tweet it at us or email us at lesboandthebean@gmail. And I guess that's it. We have done it. We should soft shoe out of the room.
Lesbo the Bean!
Thanks for listening to Lat B. For all things Lesbo and the Bean, head over to lesboandthebean.com or follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.